It seems like Toyota, particularly the BZ4X model, is on a grumpy road, too much backlash making it hard for people to buy? If you think like that, or you had a plan before watching this video to buy the Toyota BZ4X, you might need to see the whole video to come to any one conclusion, as it will open more of your horizons to discover and decide for your good. So welcome back to Tech Addicts, everyone. It seems like the Toyota car is not doing well or is in fall. The owners now will have trouble who bought it. Don't believe us? We came up with the evidence, so let's get into the video to learn more details. But before that, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel to get every single update about the channel. A little less than 3 months after Toyota introduced the BZ4X SUV globally, Toyota Motor Corporation issued a recall of roughly 2,700 units of the new electric vehicle due to worries that its loose wheels may fall off. This comes after the company launched the BZ4X SUV globally. In a recall letter for the BZ4X that was sent out to owners of the car through a variety of different channels, the Japanese automobile manufacturer stated that the action is being taken for all vehicles in North America, Europe, and the Asia-Pacific. However, not long after the BZ4X was introduced to the public, Toyota's first electric vehicle came dangerously close to having its wheels fall off. Seriously. The issue that caused the recall was the potential for the wheels to get detached from the vehicle. A loss of control of the vehicle and an increased likelihood of collision are both possible outcomes of a wheel or wheels detaching from the vehicle. According to the announcement, the recall affects 260 different automobiles. But what exactly is the problem? After low-mileage use, the hub nuts on the wheels of the concerned BZ4X battery EVs face the risk of becoming loose to the point where the wheel can separate from the vehicle, as stated by a spokeswoman for Toyota. If one of the wheels separates from the vehicle while it's being driven, it could cause the vehicle to deviate off the road, which would increase the likelihood of a collision. Toyota has reported that it has informed Japanese safety inspectors about the problem, although the cause of the malfunction is still under investigation. The manufacturer recommended that these cars should not be driven by anyone until the fix is performed. Between March and June, production on each of these vehicles took place. In addition, for the same problem, approximately 400 examples of Subaru's all-electric Solterra SUV, which was developed in partnership with Toyota, have been recalled. What kind of impact will it have on Toyota? Toyota is a very late arrival in the field of electric vehicles, although it has been an industry behemoth for a very long time. The BZ4X, which was introduced early in 2021 and is the first battery electric vehicle in Toyota's BZ family of vehicles, is expected to serve as the company's flagship electric vehicle production for the crossover SUV market. The BZ4X has not exactly set the roads ablaze due to its high starting price of $42,000, as well as its restricted availability in markets. After the first debut of the model in Japan earlier this year, Toyota announced that the vehicle will only be available for lease because of ongoing worries around maintenance costs, the performance of the remaining battery, and the residual value. The path that lies ahead for Toyota is recalling vehicles is not a new phenomenon. In one of the largest recalls in recent history, Toyota and other automakers were forced to notify the government about several millions of car models that had been produced since 2013 due to defective airbags that were manufactured by Japan's Takata Corporation, which subsequently declared bankruptcy. In light of Toyota's expansive aspirations around the world, the BZ4X recall might turn out to be little more than a small inconvenience for the company. A memorandum of understanding was signed between Toyota and Suzuki Motor Corporation in India in 2017 to bring together their respective capabilities and promote the mutual supply of automobiles. A recent Toyota recall on the 2023 BZ4X does not provide satisfactory answers to all of our inquiries. Why this recall is a poor beginning for Toyota's electric vehicle future? Toyota slams us with a recall that has a potential to be extremely dangerous in any driving circumstance. Since this is Toyota's first mass-produced electric vehicle, it is safe to state that a few hiccups here and there are to be expected with any brand new automobile, whether it is a redesign or an entirely new model. Even the recently rebuilt RAV4 had some cable problems, and the brand new redesigned 2022 Toyota Tundra had a laundry list of problems to contend with. However, since this model was expected for a long time, it may result in some negative speculation. On June 24, the most current recall for vehicle safety in the US involved 46,000 Tundra cars, including HEV. This recall was the most recent one. There are particular nuts on the rear axle assembly of the automobiles that can become loose over time and, in some instances, fall off. This has the potential to cause an axle shaft subassembly to get detached from the axle. If the subassembly entirely detaches from the axle, it has a potential to disrupt the stability of the vehicle as well as the function of the brakes, which in turn raises the likelihood of an accident. According to a statement, Toyota dealerships will conduct a check to retighten the axle flange nuts, and depending on the findings of the inspection, axle-related components may be replaced in some situations. According to Statista, in 2021, Toyota overtook Ford to become the top seller of automobiles in the U.S., selling more than 1.9 million vehicles. This put Toyota ahead of Ford, which had sold more than 1.8 million vehicles. What are your thoughts? Share your thoughts with us in the section below. And what are investors doing now that Toyota's new electric vehicle has failed? Stakeholders were likely anticipating a full announcement outlining a plan of action, outlining how the issue will be remedied. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of mystery around the phenomenon. Simply said, Toyota is unsure how to approach resolving the issue, although the business is under pressure to do so. Investors have criticized Toyota for not focusing on the EV industry as much as it does today, particularly in light of the advances taken by competitors. This has intensified the pressure to deliver, making the occurrence of its first popular completely electric car a severe setback to the approach. Concentrate on EV development investment. Despite the company's delayed adoption of electric vehicles, Toyota stated that $35 billion would be committed to the development of its own EVs. Aside from just entering the market, Toyota's level of investment and aggressive development is focused on decreasing the gap between Toyota and its competitors in the electric SUV and automobile market, including any Tesla model that stands in its way. However, given several of these companies have been continually advancing in the electric space, this will be easier said than done. From a business standpoint, one source of concern is that these types of vehicles are popular in some of the world's most important automobile markets. Much of this is due to the ease of use of electric vehicles in comparison to their traditional counterparts. After all, they are far more mechanically simple. In theory, this should result in fewer visits to the mechanic throughout their lives. Why could the recall have been much worse? What would happen if this scenario was marked by road fatalities of persons who own vehicles? Fortunately, this is not the case. The limited number of customers who received their vehicles is a major factor in the low number of fatalities. So far, no recorded injuries have been reported. Another source of concern is how early in the development cycle the corporation was forced to recall automobiles and how this may damage consumer confidence in the future. While this is a valid issue, the location of the problem provides some relief to the producer. In severe circumstances, this could result in a complete axle subassembly detachment. If this occurs, the truck's braking and stability skills are compromised. The business made it a point to emphasize that the issues impacting both lines of automobiles are unconnected. Fortunately, the plan of action to address the Tundra issue makes this recall significantly different, as there is a fix. The dealers will check the automobiles and correctly tighten the bolts. There's no doubt that the electric vehicle market has been and will continue to develop rapidly, especially with competitors like Tesla's electric automobiles on the market. Other manufacturers, including Toyota, have focused less on gas-powered vehicles and more on electric and hybrid vehicles. Toyota is known for producing the first electric cars, or at least the first mass-market electric cars. This means there is a significant amount of catching up to do. Unfortunately, the BZ4X recall provides a minor stumbling hurdle, especially since the underlying source of the problem is unknown. Well, that's all for today's video. Do comment and tell us if you still have the trust in the brand Toyota. We will be back with more updates. Please do like the video and subscribe to our channel.